Good evening, DeKalb County School District stakeholders. My name is Zach Phillips, the proud executive director of the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs. And I bring you greetings in regards to the virtual parent session that we have set up for our Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 lottery. At this time, I'm going to yield the floor to our interim chief of the Division of Student Services, Ms. King, to bring you greetings.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kiana King. I am currently serving as the Interim Chief of Student Services, and I am honored and humble to join you this evening as you take an important step to learn about and explore pre-K opportunities for your child within the best school district in Georgia, the DeKalb County School District. Not only are we the best, but we are the third largest provider of pre-K services in Georgia. We are so excited about your interest in our pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programs. My team, through under the leadership of Dr. Zach Phillips, has put together a dynamic presentation for you all tonight so that you can understand and engage in the lottery process so that we can move forward seamlessly but together. Our pre-K programs in DeKalb, of course, we are designed to ensure that we build strong foundations in learning for your scholars, but most importantly, to support the whole child as they navigate through their educational journey. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here tonight, and we look forward to sharing additional information that is forthcoming so that you can navigate this process seamlessly.
Thank you, Ms. King. Team members from the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs, as well as the Office of Student Assignment, will introduce themselves throughout the night as we provide hands-on information in regards to your level of engagement when it comes to you applying for the upcoming lottery via our School Mint Lottery platform. The agenda. I'm sorry, I was just realized I was on mic. Team members from the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs will provide an opportunity for you to engage with various members from our team, in addition to the Office of Student Assignment, as they introduce themselves throughout this particular process. The agenda for the night will cause for us to disclose and discuss the pre-K specialized programs and expansion sites, the pre-K 3 and 4 program matriculation process, annual enrollment verification, the pre-K 3 and 4 application window and lottery, the School Mint Lottery platform that you will utilize to submit your application for the upcoming lottery, the online lottery platform that is aligned to School Mint, as well as the parent portal, which is aligned to Infinite Campus, and then we will conclude with Q&A. Throughout this presentation, we ask that you submit your questions via the chat room, and we have colleagues throughout multiple divisions that fall upon the Division of Student Service, as well as the Office of Student Assignment, that will be responding in real time to those particular questions. A fun fact that many of you all may not know is that the DeKalb County School District is the largest provider of pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programming in the state of Georgia. We have pre-K 3 expansion sites outside of the Early Learning Center in Corwood at those expansion sites listed above at Austin Elementary, Briar Vista, Indian Creek, John Lewis Elementary, Margaret Theme School, Peachcrest Elementary, Princeton, Rainbow, Rockbridge, and Smoke Rise. Our current pre-K 3 students had the opportunity to choose to loop into or to opt in the program matriculation process, which means that our current students can remain at their designated sites for the upcoming school year for pre-K 4 if parents chose to opt in into program matriculation. Please note that if parents chose to opt out of the program matriculation process for our current pre-K 3 students, there is no guarantee that you will be granted a seat in the lottery for your zone homeschool. And part of this process as well is to ensure that annual verification is completed for all applicants, which is a non-negotiable, to ensure that when we award the seats on Friday, February the 27th, that all stakeholders who reside within the DeKalb County School District application is vetted for the award list or the wait list. The next voice you will hear will be Miss Erica Nelson, transitioning for the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So I will be going through the first two sections of our pre-K application. If you need to change the language of the application, you can do so by clicking the drop-down button on the top right-hand side of the screen. We are utilizing Google Translate. In order for your child to participate in the pre-K 3 lottery application, your child must be born between September 2nd, 2022 to September 1st of 2023. In order for your child to participate in the pre-K 4 lottery application, your child must be born between September 2nd, 2021 to September 1st of 2022. Throughout the application, if you have any type of issues, please click on the request help link that will take you to a form where you can list your issues. Please make sure you include your phone number as well as an email address so a member of our team can be in contact. When creating an account, parents, please make sure that you utilize the email as the preferred method of communication. If you completed an application last year, your username and password will be the same. If you forgot your password, you are allowed to utilize the forgot password function. Also, parents can use Google or Facebook as sign-in. When you use Google and or Facebook, please remember that you utilize Google, as if you try to type in your Google email address and the password, it won't work. So if you sign in with Google, please make sure when you return back to your account that you sign in with Google. Next. Okay. On this screen, we would put in our student, or you guys will put in your student information. It'll be the first name, last name, date of birth, and the grade that you are applying for. Please note, if the birth date that you enter does not align with the grade, it will give you an error message. When you start to enter the street number and street name of your home address, please make sure to choose from the populated address that comes up. If you live in the Chamblee area and your address says Chamblee, Georgia, in the system, it will say Atlanta, Georgia. If you are in the Stonecrest area and your address says Stonecrest, Georgia, the system will populate Lithonia, Georgia. Next. Okay. On this section, we will start the application, so you'll click Start. Also, we have some acknowledgments that you would have to agree to before moving forward with the application. So you'll agree to those requirements and policies and hit continue. Next. Okay. On this screen, you will put in some basic information pertaining to your child. That's the gender, multiple birth. So if you have a set of twins, triplets, quadruplets, please make sure to enter an application for each student and answer yes. So for example, if I'm completing an application for Erica Nelson and Eric Nelson, those two students will have their own separate application, and I must answer yes on both of those applications. Also, we'll ask for the race, the ethnicity. Next. It will ask if your child was part of the DeKalb County School District's Pre-K 3 program, and that's at one of the 10 sites that was listed at the beginning of the presentation, as well as the Early Learning Center or Coralwood. So if you participated in one of those schools, you would answer yes to the question and then select the school that your child is currently enrolled. It will ask if your child has an individualized education plan. It will ask if your child is part of has had Montessori experience, if your child is part of Babies Can't Wait, and then also if you have been in contact with the DeKalb County School District's Diagnostic Center. And at this time, I will turn it over to Dr. Lindstrom.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Good evening, parents and stakeholders. My name is Dr. Stephanie Lindstrom, and I am one of the pre-K coordinators for the district. So on this slide, you can see you're going to input all of your guardian and parent information. We want to make sure that you put a correct email. Sometimes during the application window, if you forget to upload a document or maybe you forget to answer a question, we will email you using the Schoolment platform. So make sure that we have the correct email so we can ensure that your application is submitted with all the correct information. Next slide. So I did see in the chat several people asking, can DeKalb County School District employees apply? Yes, you may apply for the pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 lottery. On this slide, you can see you're going to put if you're an employee, yes or no. If you do select yes, you can see you're going to put the school location you work at or the office that you work in, as well as your DeKalb County School email address. Next slide. The next question is going to ask you if you are a parent or guardian, and if there is going to be a sibling in the same school for the upcoming school year of 26-27. If you select no, that's fine. However, if you have a kindergartner through fourth grader and you do have a student in a school, the DeKalb County School, you would select yes. You can go ahead to the next slide, Doctor. On that slide where you select yes, you're going to make sure you put the sibling's name. You will also put the sibling's date of birth. You're going to select the school they attend and what grade will they be going to for the upcoming school year. This is very important, so make sure you complete this information for the sibling information. After you hit that, you're going to hit save and continue at the bottom of the screen, as you see right there in the right-hand corner where it says save and continue. Once you select save and continue, it will take you to the next slide. On this, you will see all of the schools that will populate based on the information you provided part of the application. Now here you can see there are 3 different selections. We have Coralwood Center, Early Learning Center, and Princeton Elementary, which is probably the actual school that is zoned for the parents or guardians address. You may only select one. Again, I repeat, you cannot select all 3. You will only select one. Again, you can select either Coralwood, Early Learning Center, or the school that is designated for your school address. That school will go into the lottery process, and from there on, that's how we will determine if you will receive a seat for the pre-K 3 or pre-K 4 lottery. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Rhodes.
Thank you, Dr. Lindstrom. Hello, my name's Kim Rhodes, and I'm one of the coordinators for the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs. And I'm going to take it from here with our uploads. I would like to mention that we're addressing Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4, and we are not part of the school choice lottery. So on the first upload, you'll see for your birth. Your birth can be a birth certificate, a record of live birth, a passport, or any other legal document for your child. The guardian, if this is applicable, we just simply ask that you upload official documents showing that you are the guardian. For the parents, we ask that you provide a driver's license or another form of state ID. For the residency, there's no choice, no difference between pre-K and K-12 with DeKalb County. We have the same requirements. You need to share a utility bill, which could be gas, electric, or water, a lease, or a mortgage. We will not accept a phone bill. Next. This part right here is where you are reading and initialing. You're signing off of these agreements. So with this first agreement, we're saying that we have a full instructional day and that if you get a seat, you're going to bring your child for the full instructional day. And it also mentions the 10 consecutive day rule. And what that states is if your child is absent for 10 consecutive days, your seat will be forfeited unless you provide a doctor's note and communicate with your principal. So you're saying you understand and you agree with that. The next one at the bottom is talking about participation, and parents were asking for active participation with your students because we're going to have parent-teacher conferences twice a year. Sometimes we go on field trips, have parent meetings. So when you initial there, you're saying that you read and you understand that. Next. Next.
I'm sorry, Ms. Rose, it's delayed. Let me see.
Okay.
Hmm. That's the right one, Ms. Rose?
No, it starts with the I. There you go.
There
That's
you go.
it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
So this section right here is you are signing off stating that if your child has an IEP, that you're going to notify us. This is very important because we have a legal responsibility to make sure that we address all of our children who apply and enter into the lottery. The at the bottom of this slide is the self-care. Parents, this is the one area that gets people caught up, so please listen carefully. By reading and initialing this part, you are saying your child knows how to self-care for themselves. They can dress themselves, they can undress themselves, they can have toileting by themselves. So if an accident happens, the child can go in, change their clothes, and come on back out. According to Bright from the start, our teachers are not allowed to go in and change the children. So by signing off on that, you're saying that your child is potty trained before they enter into the program, with the exception of a child that has an IEP. If a child has an IEP and it's written in there that they require um, this assistance, then in a co-taught classroom, we have 3 teachers and the children can be serviced there. This does include pull-ups. So please don't think you can bring the child to school with pull-ups. That's the same thing as not being potty trained, with the exception of an IEP. Next, please.
Hey, this delay.
Okay, so while we're waiting for the slide to go through with the delaying of the technology, we apologize. The next slide that you're going to see is talking about necessary information that we need from you as the parents. We're asking you to please help us. Tell us, let the school know. Does your child have allergies? Do they have dietary needs? Is there medical conditions? We need to know so we can be able to help support your child and have them be successful. At the bottom of this slide is the attendance policy, and with the attendance policy, that's stating that if your child has to be on an extended medical leave, that we will maintain the spot as long as you communicate with the school, the principal, and upon returning, you provide your documentation from the doctor or hospital. On the last slide, next please, that's your signature page. And on this signature page, this is saying, we're not asking for your initials, we're asking for your signature. That one, you're verifying everything on this application is true. That if you are awarded a seat, you will accept the seat within 14 days. And your child will be present at the school by 10 a.m. that first day of school. And that if any part of this application is falsified or not adhered to the DCSD pre-K programs, you are forfeiting your seat. Please make sure that you read these last bullets very clearly before you sign so you are very aware of what the stipulations are. At this time, I'm now going to pass the presentation over to my colleague, Miss Wright.
Thank you, Ms. Rhodes. I am Ms. LaTanya Wright, the pre-K technician for the Early Learning Department. The slide that you are viewing at this time shows your review and submit application. This is all the data that you entered. You can go in and check anything that you would like or change anything that you would like. Once you have completed that, you need to go to the bottom of this screen on the right-hand corner and click Submit Application. Next slide. After you click Submit Application, you will see this screen. This screen will show your child or children's names of the applications that you have submitted. If you see an orange circle next to your child's name, that means that application is in progress, which means you can go back in and update and submit again. If you have a green circle next to your child's name, that means your application has been submitted and it is ready for the lottery process, for the schools to vet the application for the lottery process. Next screen. This is an example of the lottery letter you will receive. Parents, it is very important that you return to your parent dashboard in order to read this letter in its entirety. This letter will give you step-by-step guidelines on what your next steps are if your child received a seat. The first thing you will need to do is accept, decline, or withdraw your child's seat by 11 o'clock p.m. Friday, March 20th. If you do not respond by the deadline, the system will auto decline your child's seat and they will be placed on the wait list. This award letter will also be needed when completing your online registration as your pre-K document. Right from the start, which is BFTS forms, will need to be completed by pre-K 4 parents only. Gather all the required listed documents to complete your online registration. Please follow the steps listed for families that have currently enrolled children at a DeKalb County school, or if you are new to the district. Next slide. This is the letter that you will receive if your child is placed on the wait list. The wait list letter will tell you where your child is placed, which number, and the school that you chose when you completed your application. Please, it is important, parents, that you log back into your parent dashboard to view this message in its entirety. Thank you. The next person you will hear is our Executive Director, Dr. Phillips.
Before we get back into the other portion of the presentation, I do want to highlight the actual application window. All of our schools, elementary schools that offer pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programs, have seats available via the lottery. Please note that the lottery window will open up on Monday, January the 26th, and conclude on Friday, February the 20th. All seats and or waitlist seats will be awarded the following Friday on February the 27th. Please note that the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs facilitate seats being awarded for Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programming. This does not involve the Department of School Choice. School Choice facilitates K through 12 programming. The Department of Early Learning facilitates Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programming. Parents will be able to apply via an Apply Now button that will be located on our district landing page for our Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs beginning on Monday. A link will be updated in the chat that will take you directly to our landing page, as well as you will be able to find our FAQ session, which will answer any additional questions you may have about registration for the upcoming lottery. The video that's being recorded at this time will also be shared with all attendees, so you can refer back to it if you have any additional questions, or you can reach out to us via the information that will be listed on the last slide. At this particular time, I will turn over the program to our colleagues from the Office of Student Assignment, who will bring you updates in regards to your level of engagement with the Infant Campus portal.
Good evening. I am Petra Irvin, one of the managers for the student assignment team, and I'm going to walk you through the few steps of registering your students. So we can go to the next slide.
Sorry, Miss Irving, it's delayed a little bit.
That's okay. That's
Right.
okay. So as we are waiting for the slide to go, I will share with you that for students who are currently in the district, You are going to complete your application using the parent portal. So you're going to do an annual verification. You're not going to do a new student registration. So if you have students that are currently attending, maybe your student was in pre-K 3 and you're now going to pre-K 4, you're going to do an annual verification. You will not do a new student registration application. We can go to the next slide. And so if you don't already have a parent portal account, you'll be able to follow this link or scan the QR code to go to the district page and create a parent portal account. Also, your school's registrar will be able to assist with getting that parent portal account created for you as well. Next slide. If you have forgotten your username or your password for your parent portal account, once you go to your app or go to the web page, you'll be able to utilize the buttons at the bottom to get the email or the password or the username emailed to you. So it's important that you remember the email address that you use to create your parent portal account. If your student is new to DeKalb, then you're going to go to the district webpage and you're going to go to the registration area there, and you're going to complete a brand new student registration application. So again, this on the screen, you can see the URL to get there, the web page, or you can scan the QR code. Before you get started, you're going to make sure that you have your documents with you. So you can see a list of the documents that are required for registration. In addition to these documents, you're also going to need to provide that pre-K lottery approval letter that they just spoke about. That is going to be your key into getting into the school because plenty of people can apply for pre-K, but if you haven't gone through the lottery, then you're not going to be accepted. So one of the things that we require is that lottery approval letter. So we can go ahead and get started. So if you are going to access the new student registration application from the district website, you will see this screen once you get there, and you'll click on that blue button right in the middle. If you're accessing the new student application through your parent portal, you're going to log in using your username and password, and you're going to go to the campus parent. And we will let you know that the recommended browser for that is Google Chrome or Firefox. Once you get logged in, you're going to click on those three lines in the top left corner. Click on More at the bottom.
She doesn't have the experience.
And then you're going to click on Annual Verification.
No, she doesn't have the experience.
Once you click on Annual Verification, you'll come to this screen. And here you will see that there's an area that says New Student Registration. You're going to make sure that you select the upcoming year, which is the 26-27 school year. And when you click on the 26-27 school year, you'll go ahead and you'll get started. Once you click on that Start button, you'll go ahead and click Begin Registration. And no matter where you started the application from, whether it was from the website or from the parent portal, you will end up at this screen. On this screen, you'll be able to select your language. You'll type in your first and last name because this is going to serve as your signature, and then you'll click on the Submit button. Now, while you're completing the application, there are a few things that you need to know. Any area that is marked with a red asterisk, you have to complete them. They are mandatory fields, so it won't let you move past it if you don't complete them. Once you begin a tab, you'll enter all the data in that required field for that tab before saving. Each tab must be completed before you can move on to the next tab. And after the required fields for the tab have been completed, then you can move freely between the tabs. You want to make sure that you press Save and Continue after you complete each tab. And then you can move forward and backwards through the tabs using the next and previous buttons. If you're using a cell phone to complete the application, you may also need to scroll left and right to see all of the fields. You will have to upload a few documents, the ones that we said to gather up before this process started. And once you get there, you're going to click on the appropriate button to upload your documents. You're going to upload your documents in two areas of this application. One is going to be under the student primary household. This is where you're going to load your proof of residency. So that's going to be your utility bill or your lease or your mortgage. And then again, you're going to load some documents up under the student area. That's where you're going to load the birth certificate, your Bright from the Start pre-K documents, as well as that approval lottery letter and any of the other required documents. You're going to load those up under the student area.
Just got stuck again, Miss Irvin. Give me one
That's
minute.
okay. I figured as much because you're on top of things, Dr. Phillips. So then we're going to come up to our release agreements. Here, you're going to click and sign the release agreement. So you'll see a few things there. And then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and click on Save and Continue. And it's going to bring you right to our next screen, which is pretty much the end. Okay. So once you get to that last screen, which is this one right here, you're going to click where it says click here to sign. You are going to do that so that you actually sign your application. Now, once you sign your application, then you're going to click the submit button. You have to actually click the submit button. Otherwise, it will not get processed because we won't know it's done. It won't go to a school. So not only are you going to sign it, you're also going to hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll get to this final screen, which is your confirmation. Okay. Once you receive your registration confirmation, then your application is complete. While your application is being processed, along the way, you will get emails from Infinite Campus to let you know the status of your application. And that's it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Irvin, for your portion of the presentation. At this time, members of our team, please continue to scroll the chat room and please lift any question that you feel as though we need to address at this time that hasn't been addressed. We have about 10 more minutes before we start winding everything down. But I do want to go back and reiterate for anybody that just joined the call that the application for the upcoming pre-K 3 and 4 lottery will begin on Monday, January 26th, and conclude on Friday, February the 20th. Awarded seats and wait lists will be emailed to all impacted stakeholders beginning on Friday, February the 27th. Please note, and I want to reiterate this again, if you are a DeKalb County stakeholder and you submitted what you believe to be an application via the school choice platform, that's a different platform. Please know that school choice facilitate all programming from K through 12, and the Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs facilitate everything that's aligned to our upcoming lottery. The actual Apply Now button will appear on our district Department of Early Learning and Pre-K programs landing page on Monday. Once you match that button, it will take you directly to the School Mint landing page where you can complete your application for the upcoming lottery. Please check the chat because a link was uploaded in the chat where you can have direct access to our landing page in addition to any question that you may have that's related to our posted FAQs. Miss Wright, Miss Nelson, Miss
I have a
Rose, or
few
Dr.
questions that
Lindstrom, do you all
I'm
have any
prepared
questions that's
for.
posted? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first one is, and there were several questions regarding the pre-K 3 program. Is it a full day program? And if so, what are the hours?
Yes, the pre-K 3 program is a full day program. Usually between the first 2 weeks of school are transitional days where students come for about a half day just so they can get acclimated to the new school setting. The hours of operation, depending on the school schedule, normally runs from 7 to 2. And then dismissal begins at 2 to 2:30 for those particular students. But each individual school that houses those students, our wonderful students, I will have you follow up with that building level principal because they may open up their building at various times prior to 7:30, which will impact the overall instructional day. But all of our pre-K 3 programs are full day programs.
Thank you. There's another question, and I think some of this is just our internal language. A few parents asked, what do we mean by homeschool?
Can you elaborate on the question, Doc?
Homeschool, so the homeschool would be the school that is in the child's attendance.
Okay, okay. I thought they were
Attendance
talking
is
about like a
done during
service being rendered. Okay, like
No, no, no.
hospitals, mobile
When we
Okay,
use the term
okay.
homeschool, so it's
Yeah.
the one that, is closest to the area of
I
their
got you. I
area of
got you. So,
expertise.
so when you complete your application, your address will pre-populate your zone school for your home address. Please note that all stakeholders get the options of their zone home school. So if you're in a zone that your home school will be Barack Obama, you're going to get Barack Obama in addition to Corewood Center and the Early Learning Center because Corewood and the Early Learning Centers serve the entire district and all of our district stakeholders. And based on those options, you will select one option, as mentioned previously by Dr. Lindstrom, to complete your application. And once you complete your application, it rolls to the school's queue for that particular register to vet your application and mark your application marked eligible for the lottery. And once it's marked eligible for the lottery, it rolls over to that lottery system. So when we do run the lottery on the 27th, your application is included. Now, if the school register vets the application and they're missing pertinent documents to approve your application, they're going to send you a email update via the platform for you to go back in to update your applications. So we ask that you continue to stay in the know when it comes to checking your email in regards to what that looks like, as well as follow up with the school level registers to make sure they're vetting your application in a timely fashion.
Doc, I
Okay.
see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ms.
No,
King.
I'll go with one more. There are a lot of questions around children being fully toilet trained or potty trained. Can they still attend if they are not fully potty trained at the time?
Part of the application process is to ensure that our students are potty trained before they transition in, unless it's stated for support via their IEP. So I will always say, please continue to move forward with submitting your application. And that's a developmental milestone that we know all of our students have to go through in order to become potty trained. And if it's a situation where you feel as though a seat is awarded and you want to still work with the school in regards to what that looks like, then that follow-up conversation will be had with the building level principal as well as the support staff to support our young scholars with that potential developmental milestone. But our preferred option is that we want all of our students to be potty trained to ensure that that level of support won't necessarily have to be rendered unless it's written in the IEP.
There are a lot of
Oh,
questions in the chat about the 3300 form and the 3231 form. So those documentations are not required for the application. If your child is awarded a seat, you will need those documentations for online registration. So during the application window, there's only 3 to 4 documents that you would need: the child's proof of birth, birth certificate, passport, proof of residency, and then also the parent state issue ID. If you are the legal guardian or have custody over a child, you will need to upload that information as well.
So to kind of piggyback off of what Ms. Nelson said, I see a lot of questions about the parent portal and the Infinite Campus process. Again, like Ms. Nelson said, if you are awarded a seat, then that would be like process, that would be like part 2 of your application. So you don't have to do the parent portal or the Infinite Campus process or registration. Once you are awarded a seat, you will receive an email, and in the email, it will give you directions on how to retrieve Parent Portal or Infinite Campus to complete that process. Again, Ms. Irvin did a wonderful job, but that is if you are awarded a seat. If you are not awarded a seat, you will not complete that process.
Is there a certain time that the application goes live on Monday, January the 26th?
Right now, I would tell our stakeholders just be prepared for the actual apply now button to go live by 8 o'clock a.m.
Okay.
If it occurs before then, but I think we have the system generated for everything to go live at 8 o'clock a.m.
Okay.
Also, there are questions in the chat about Montessori. So our pre-K program offers two Montessori programs, one at Briar Vista and then one at Huntley Hills. The only way you will see the option of Montessori is if you live within those attendance areas. So if you live in the Briar Vista attendance area, you will see the traditional Briar Vista and you will see the Montessori Briar Vista. So you have to live within those attendance area in order to go to the Montessori program or apply for the Montessori program. And then also I have placed the school locator in the chat for parents if you want to see your home school.
On the chat now, parents, you should have the school locator where you could type in your address to determine your home school. You should have our landing page as well, where you will see the Apply Now button appear on Monday at 8 o'clock. So you can apply for the upcoming lottery. In addition to, you will see various tabs that talks about mandatory documents as well as FAQ.
Unfortunately, our pre-K 3 program does not offer Montessori. And then also too, if you are a elementary employee, you will have the option of applying for that elementary. And then if you are a middle school or high school employee, then you would have a list of the feeder schools that feed into that particular middle school or high school.
Dr. Phillips, can you answer really quickly around the class size for pre-K 3 and pre-K 4?
Yes, ma'am. On the class size for pre-K 3, you will have 2 certified staff members, the lead teacher and paraprofessionals, and the ratio is 2 adults to 15 students. And when it comes to pre-K 4, same situation where you have 2 certified adults, lead teacher and paraprofessional, and the ratio is 2 to 20 students, unless it's a co-taught class, and the ratio will be 12 to 6 students for 18 total. And with pre-K 3, it will be 9 to 6 students for a total of 15. So it necessarily doesn't change for those particular ratios.
And then also, so our lottery is randomly selected. So whether you do your application when it first opened or that last day right before it closes, your child still has an opportunity to get a seat. So it's randomized. It's not a first come, first serve.
We have one question. If the child is currently in pre-K 3 and will attend pre-K 4 in the same school, do they need to complete an annual verification?
Yes, all students will go through that process. That's to ensure that all seats that's been awarded, whether they was captured via the program matriculation, that the actual parent and student still resides within the DeKalb County School District. So we're doing that to vet it on the front end because they're still going to be vetted on the back end if they're awarded a seat when they complete the necessary steps within online registration or the parent portal. Miss Rose or Miss Wright, do you all see any additional questions that we need to address at this time outside of what Miss King, Miss Nelson, and Dr. Lindstrom has asked?
Yeah, yes, there are multiple requests to get the links posted back in the chat. They want both links so that they can get to them. There's also a lot of questions about when the lottery opens, when can they apply, where do they find it? It's everything that you already mentioned. One thing I
I put
do
that
want
in
to
the
say,
chat multiple times as well.
yeah, one thing I do want to say is this is being recorded. We will be able to share it out, and later on we will be able to address any questions that may not have been answered on the chat. The last thing is, as far as how many classes are at the school, if you call the school, they can let you know how many pre-K classes, pre-K 3 or pre-K 4, simply because we have classes as small as 1 at some schools, and some schools we have 4 and up to, I think, 7 or 8.
Okay. I do see some questions in here about after school care. Unfortunately, you would have to reach the school, you would have to contact the school directly because not all of our elementary schools offer after school care.
Also, as it relates to that question, if your school doesn't offer after school care, potentially you will follow up with a building level leader to determine if they partner with any neighborhood daycares that provide transportation to and from the designated sites if you need additional support in regards to that space.
And then also pre-K 3 students do not ride the bus.
Yes.
So you would have to provide your own transportation for pre-K 3.
This particular slide highlights the Department of Early Learning Pre-K program staffing. Please note that we're a mighty team of 5 who thoroughly enjoy supporting our young scholars across the district. We have almost over close to 3,000 students that we support. The biggest lift is to ensure that our students are kindergarten ready before they transition to kindergarten, exceeding expectations and breaking through the academic paradigms that are often placed on our young scholars. You know, our young scholars are capable of moving mountains. We want to ensure that we equip them with early literacy skills and early numeracy skills so they continue to accelerate their paradigms in real time when they transition from the primary levels all the way through K through 12. If you have any questions throughout this process, please feel free to email pre-K records at dekalbschools.ga.org, and members of our team will be responding to your inquiries in real time based on whatever you submit to our department. We had over 3,000 parents sign up for our virtual parent session, so we definitely want to thank all of our parents who joined us. I think we got close to or surpassed 1,600, which is outstanding. Last year, we only had 700, so we got all the way up to 1,600. So I thank you guys for joining us in our virtual space so we can provide support as an extra layer of support leading up to when the actual application window opens up on Monday. And again, for those who just joined us, the application window will open up on Monday, January the 26th, conclude on Friday, February the 20th. Seats and our wait list will be awarded on Friday, February the 27th. You will, at this time, look into the chat. An Apply Now button will appear on our district landing page on Monday. You can match that Apply Now button at 8 o'clock. It will take you to the School Mint platform where you can start applying for the upcoming lottery. Also, with the actual link that's been posted in the chat room, you can also read our FAQs as it relates to the upcoming lottery. In addition to, you have what's that address school locator link posted in the chat room as well, where you type in your actual address to determine what your zone home school is for the upcoming lottery. The
Dr.
time
Phillips,
now,
where will, I apologize, it's been a long day, the recording be posted?
based on last year, and it may change. I'll follow Mr. Stevens. Based on last year, we usually get an email in about 48 hours with everybody that attended with a recording, and I usually push it back out in a BCC email to everybody that actually participated in the event. If something would change, I'll follow with those individuals that attended the meeting so they know exactly where to go find the actual video recording of the actual support session. The time now is 6:59, so to be a stickler of time with our illustrious interim chief of student services, we want to thank you guys again for joining us in this virtual space. Please take care, stay warm on this bitter cold winter night, and have a great remaining week as we continue to work in conjunction with each other to provide a wonderful learning experience for our young scholars within the DeKalb County School District. Everybody take care.